Joining us soon. This is Link Tank. This is our 5th week of Link Tank, and I can't tell you how excited I am by the response, the participation, and more importantly, the feedback. So let's go to it. Basically, what we want to cover today is education and what a foundation it is to building trusted relationships and to add value as relationships grow. So just wanted to share with you that Mike Weiss and I are heavily involved in online education. Mike has a tremendous group of just high quality, high professional individuals. Well, here's Mike. Hi, Mike. Mike will be joining us, a little bit of a connection here. So basically, Mike, do you want to chime in? Hi, Mike. Can you hear me? I can see you, Mike. Well, waiting for Mike. But anyways, with that said, we've covered a lot of bases, and basically, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Hi, Mike. I see you now. I can hear you. Can you see me? Mike? Sorry for the inconvenience. Anyways, I'll continue, and hopefully Mike can connect with us. So anyways, thank you for your time again and for that last minute or two. And really just want to focus on being client value facing and using education basically to build trusted relationships. And what I find is too many people are focused on themselves and try to be interesting instead of interested. And most people are just too busy to really focus on someone else, especially if they don't know you. So basically, the key is sharing something that can bring significant value in a very short period of time to kind of prove the value of what you bring and the information that you offer. So with that, there's a couple interesting new developments on LinkedIn. I believe we covered it with that button on one's profile. And let me share that screen with you. So basically, for those who haven't seen this, it's really quick. LinkedIn, you have to be on creator mode. And basically, you can see right here that I put collaborative opportunities, which actually takes you to my website page with with all these items that we purchase. So really, it comes down to, the ability to go from profile to purchase if that's what you're into, and basically take people where you want them to go, and maybe save a couple steps as far as phone calls and that goes. So really saving and compressing some time and space. The other key thing that's so important is really being able to share knowledge. And as you can do more collaboratively in that respect, you gain a lot more value. So basically, collaboration groups that really focus on that and are sincerely serious about doing business and not just socializing, make a big difference. Going forward, hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Anyways, a learning lesson for sure. So basically, I think the key that people can come away with a takeaway from here is really how important educating people is as far as the value in their ability to progress, be more successful. It's been said that on LinkedIn, you can only do three things. One is inspire, educate, and the other one is basically to support. So, or if you can do all three, that's even great. Mike?
Hello.
Hey, Mike, finally got it. Great. I was saying everything's a learning lesson today. So, Mike, I was just starting out for your benefit in that what we talked about previously as far as how education is so valuable to LinkedIn success and how we focus on education. Do you want to kind of share a little bit of your insight there?
Yeah. Can you arrange the screen so it's a little different?
Sure.
And yeah, there's something it's odd. There's something off with Restream because the adding it to the channels,
Mm-hmm.
it actually just kills the Restream feed. It's like
Oh,
that's
so
something
you,
that's I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it's Restream software issue. Anyway, hello everyone. Don, yeah, um, adding value. This is really the key. The I gave a talk I was in a mastermind this week, which just emphasizes it's $20,000 a year it cost me. $20,000 a year. Why do I pay $20,000 a year? Why have I paid? Oh my gosh, probably $500,000 I've paid in the last 5 years to be around people that are much smarter and sharper and better than me. And the reason why is because that's how you get better. And when it comes to business, I mean, it's good. You get better if you hang around smart tennis people and you play with better tennis players, you'll get better at tennis. When you are in business, when you do that, you get better at business, which means you have more fun and you make less mistakes and you make more money. That's
sure.
good. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not what it costs me. It's an investment um, to learn, make less mistakes, move with speed, and make more money. So it the talk I did was about diarrhea, and everyone was like, there was almost it was 100 people in the room, and they were like, diarrhea. I said, yeah, I'm talking about diarrhea and bowel movements today. I'm talking about social media diarrhea. I'm talking about blog post diarrhea. I'm talking about email diarrhea. And I'm talking about podcast diarrhea. And the theme is nobody needs blah, blah, blah information. And that's why I call it diarrhea because everyone's just spewing out stuff it's worse than average. I mean, if you're not that much of an expert, but you try to add value, good for you. right? There's all different levels of expertise. But if you're putting out like quotes or, sound bites of different things that don't add value, then that's what I call diarrhea. So it came back to what you and I always talk about, and the objective of Link Tank: 20 minutes, one concept, one idea to put to work. Because if we stand in that place, and it's not about us, we stand in a place about how can we create something. And I always before the show, you and I's like, what can we talk about that someone can utilize? So today it's like a meta conversation, because it's about, what are you gonna walk away with? You're gonna walk away with, try a post where you're teaching somebody something. It can be very basic.
Mm-hmm.
So the meta part of this conversation is kind of interesting, because we're talking about the social media diarrhea and what to teach, but we just are also giving the one thing to walk away with, which is your next post, teach something, see how it goes.
Well, and
So
I think, it's so important what you just said, and to kind of reemphasize it and put it in perspective, because it's important to know the what, but having the why and the context really completes the sentence. And with that said, next time you do something for or to somebody on LinkedIn, make sure they learn something valuable. Give them your best tips. We always talk about people feel like they got to hide or their best stuff, and they give their mediocre stuff. Like there's going to be a second time they can give it, and they think too much of their stuff anyways. Here's the point: give the best you got away first. Don't save it for last. Second thing is, make sure they get value, and the hope when you do it is when they take action, you both get value. So it's value first, one, value second, two. And now you're connected. Now you've given twice and gotten once. And you always want to stay in a position where I call it the no one takes two steps uh, strategy, which is you take a step, I take a step, I take a step, you take a step. Nobody should take two steps, right? And everything's reciprocal. And that way everybody earns their next step by the value they create. So if you're coming from an attitude of gratitude and you're giving in the hope that someone receives and gets value, and that's your benefit if nothing else happens, then it's gravy from there. And the other thing is, with 810 million people on LinkedIn, everybody's got an audience for every educational process, right? I like to teach, take action. Everything I do is inform, educate, and give somebody a chance to jump in instead of just think or learn or share, because at the end of the day, there is an end of the day, and you look at your results. So Mike, why don't you go into a little bit more of, you've got a huge background in education. You've got great companies that support that. So this is just not two guys who sat on a bench, came up with some good ideas, and are just hoping it might stick. This is between us decades of solid, hardworking experience at high levels of success and achievement. And now we've got a platform with Link Tank that we can give you information you couldn't even learn. The day of learning that is over, not the day of repeating it and re-engineering it. And that's another big thing, is engineering. So Mike, before I keep going, education.
Yeah, I mean, so everyone gets sick of me hearing about me and Gary Vaynerchuk, because he's the one that got me into this whole thing. And I think he's one of the best at understanding social media and how to build communities. His style of the content that he produces is more in the style of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And when he basically, threw down the gauntlet and said to me, if you're not dominating LinkedIn today, you're a fool. If the lifetime value of customers multiple thousands or millions, and your customers on LinkedIn, which check mark, when I basically deploy I had a real deep conversation with myself. I mean, I like to tell a good story, but like I couldn't figure out how to tell stories. And to me, that
Mm-hmm.
was the one problem, right? That was, I had also really a deep desire to um, build a audience of people that were that cared about what I was doing. So storytelling's great. I mean, I can tell a lot of stories. Fortunately, I'm old and I've done a lot, so that makes you have a lot of stories. But the reality is that I wanted to be able, with my words and what I was going to communicate, attract people that would learn, know, like, and trust, and then have a good chance of wanting me to help them. So the core business, as you said, was education. I build online education platforms. I write curriculum, digital marketer, Ryan Dice. I designed and built all their certification programs and launched them for the first 2 years from, zero. I don't know. They ended up probably doing 10 million. And the digital badge, they didn't even heard of the digital badge, which we deployed. And Profit First, the book, which is in a great organization. We run their global certification. And Dan Kennedy, we run his membership. And Matt Basak, who's become a personal friend and a client, who's one of the extraordinary digital marketers the last 20 years. We run his platform. So the purpose, I mean, it was very purposeful. Was to be able to build a community of people that at some point would want to do business with me. I mean, that makes sense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a little different than what Gary Vaynerchuk was trying to accomplish. But for me, I had to take what I knew, which is, if you want to be a thought leader, you speak on stage, you write a book, you sell your company for 100 million or more, or you teach online, or you get on TV. I mean, those are the things. That's thought leadership. So to me, teaching, because we write curriculum. So that's really how I started. And it comes back to the conversation earlier about the social media diarrhea, but it's a blog diarrhea. It's email diarrhea. Like, I get so many emails, and people have just been taught, just send out content emails, 3 of them to every one sales email. But I look at the emails and I'm like, I'm embarrassed for them,
Mm-hmm.
because they're saying nothing, and the social media companies out there, they get paid on volume. So I think this is super important point to get. And then just to put a bow on this part of my conversation, tying into what you said, is that there's so many levels of expertise. So you might not be at the top. You might be in the middle, or you might even be, at the first 25%. But if you're at the first 25%, that doesn't mean there's 24% of people below you that could use your help,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everyone can do this. Um, if you think about, uh, everyone can do this if you're in integrity, I should say. Because if you know 25% of the measure, but you start teaching stuff that, like, is at 100%. In other words, you've been in the financial markets for a year, but you start saying that complicated strategies like a 10-year veteran would do, you're out of alignment. But if you've been in there for a year and you've learned a lot of lessons during that time, then be transparent, because there's going to be a lot of people below you that haven't gotten to that point,
Well,
which
and
is another key.
here's what's so important, and to kind of, there's been a saying I always followed, and it's facts tell, stories sell, right? So you can just give information all day long, and people would just fall asleep, right? And no one wants to hear you telling them their story. They want to hear your story, right? And because people become more accessible by sharing things that other people might not have, so going to, the expertise side. And I think LinkedIn Live, and LinkedIn overall allows us for the first time to expose high level of intelligence and education that people can accept in a very short period of time and be successful with. Because here's the key: LinkedIn does almost everything for you. You don't have to worry about their servers going down, if they're hiring today or not. You know, all you got to do is share information. And I think a key word there is relevant information, right? Relevant to the user, actionable to the user. You should have like 3 checks before you post, right? Is this going to be valuable to the people I'm sending it to? Are people going to be able to use it and get results and take action now? Because here's the thing, they're going to forget about you in seconds. If you can show them how they can get a benefit, low hanging fruit for everybody, they're going to come back for the next tip tomorrow. And we've got tips that don't quit. But most importantly, it's personalized. You know, that's the thing. Anybody can give you the how to, you know, the manual, you could read it, go to YouTube, blah, 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 tons of it. But if you don't know what you're doing, just someone telling you what they know and what you should do, there's a gap, right? To bridge that gap, people like us know where the landmines are, right? If we can help you navigate, get through there faster, and it costs us nothing to do that faster than slower, better than worse. And me and Mike, with everything we know and have learned, wouldn't come out of the gate with mediocre stuff. You know, you got to trust us to trust ourselves that when we go out there, we've got the real deal. And hopefully this discussion kind of helps you position yourself like, what do I do tomorrow? Because that's what everybody's question should be. What am I going to do tomorrow based on what I did or didn't do today? And then, you know, pick a board of directors, right? With me and Mike, you got 2 out of 5. You know, find 3 more and you got 5 people that can support you. And they say you're the factor of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Measure how well they're doing, average that into what you could be doing, and you're there. So yeah, I think that the key to LinkedIn, and we've seen it. I mean, I've been posting every day for 2 years. Now we're doing Link Tank on LinkedIn Live. We're going to continue to expand our reach. And here's the thing, and that's so important. There's so few people doing anything, and there's so much fewer people doing anything right. And then there's so many fewer people reaching different levels of outreach, whether it's texting, commenting, posting, videos, LinkedIn Live,
Yeah.
you know, and why not be everywhere?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, really, I think just to kind of sum it up, one, you can do this. Like, we're here to show and provide you the confidence that you can do this, whether you're helping with HR or leadership, or you're a headhunter, or you're a law firm or an accounting firm. What we're trying to share with you today is, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you do Don's checklist and then you provide that value, then you're going to end up with people saying, wow, he or she really knows their shit, over and over again. That's going to create a network of people that know, like, and trust you. But you can't establish that with diarrhea, because if I see someone that's not saying anything, or they're putting up another Tony Robbins quote, or even their own quote, and this is what they're delivering, they add no value to me. Mm-hmm. So why would I want to listen to them? Why would I want to in my network? Why would I ever want to even, you know, do an outreach and say, hey, how can I support you? Because they add no value. And if I see someone that is, you know, say I'm in the education space and we're in the LinkedIn space. If I see someone that's kind of a rookie, but they're trying.
Thanks to these automatic programmed habits, your cells are constantly being exposed.
To me, that's exciting, because I might even actually say, hey, you know, I came across someone that's not right for me, but like, you're really trying. Why don't you see if you can help them? Mm-hmm. Because I understand that they're coming from a place of trying to add value. They're really trying. It doesn't matter the level. And so that's the one big takeaway for today that I'd like to, you know, impart upon everybody, is that the social diarrhea, you know, do it at your own peril. But we're trying to say, look, there's a better plan. Just step into saying what you said. How am I going to add value, make it relevant, and how to take action. So today's take action, your pro, teach something that someone else can do something with.
Yeah, and here's the thing too.
Right?
You know, I would invite everybody, encourage everybody to go to Clout Selling, to go to doncohenconsulting.com. You get to know a little bit more about us and what we offer too. And we really welcome feedback. We're going to come up with a Link Tank membership program soon, which can really get people into the loop at very little risk. And one thing that should be important to everybody is their time. I found that there's people that you can't compare the time they spent with the results they get, right? So working harder, working longer without working smarter is spending a lot of time and not getting a result. And like I always say, LinkedIn gives you the report card every day for what you do or don't do. If you like what you see, then you're on the right track. If you don't, you need to change. And I think the reason why people don't change is they don't know what to change to. Nobody's sitting in a ditch saying, boy, this is more fun every minute. Everybody's saying, how do I find a tow truck? You know, and we're the tow truck for now. So anyways, love to keep the conversation going. I see that I've been getting a lot more feedback from these LinkedIn Lives. So keep that coming. And we invite you to email us and come back Tuesdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Eastern time for more Link Tank and more Mike Weiss and Don Cohen. Thank you very much.
It's Friday again. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy. Bye for now.